What up, what up, what up? Serial Assassin here, and I'm bringing you another gameplay and commentary today. Alright, what we got in the background? We got in the background a little game of Team Defender. Alright, so, yeah, a little game of Team Defender in the back. I was actually running with my best friend's son in this. Um, and it was an interesting game. It was fun. It was one of those good games of Team Defender where the other team wasn't very organized and whoring the flag and making it tough. And same thing on our side. Whoever grabbed the flag was moving around and not really camping in an area and teaming up. So it was actually an action-filled game and it had a good pace to it. So I like Team Defender games like that. But that's in the background. And what I want to talk about today is token on the good stuff. So, a couple weeks ago, my 14-year-old son decided that he was going to get high. So, I mean, I understand the circumstances. One of his friends who was 16 died in a car accident, and, he was grieving and hanging out with the family and trying to be supportive of them and everything else. And the 16-year-old kid hung out with a lot of older kids, and his family was a little from, the wrong side of the tracks or whatever. But, I guess they all decided to get high in memory of, their lost friend Austin. So my son experimented with weed last summer, and I told him, like, look, I understand you're going to experiment. All kids experiment one time or another. My thing is don't want you to experiment. I expect you to experiment, and I will cut you slack the first time. So I cut him his slack last summer, and he swear up and down he'll never do it again. It's stupid. He liked it, but he understands. Blah blah blah. So he came in the house a couple weeks ago, and he was stoned off his ass. And I looked at him. I'm like, dude, you're stoned. He's like, no, no, I'm just tired. I'm going to bed. And it's like 8:45 on a Saturday night, and my 14-year-old son is talking about going to bed. So I went upstairs and I read him the riot act. I just tore him out. I just tore him up. Told him he was grounded indefinitely. Lost all of his privileges. No going outside. He lost his cell phone. No internet. No video games. No nothing. Basically, he was on lockdown, and that was the end of it. So here it is, 2 weeks later, and I picked him up from football yesterday, and we're driving home, and he's like, Dad, am I ever going to get off punishment? And I was like, well, not yet. And he went on and tried to plead his case about how, he felt it was unfair, it was too long, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, dude, it's only been 2 weeks. 2 weeks for getting stoned at 14. So I told him no. And, he's got to suffer for at least a couple more weeks. I mean, I just can't let this shit slide easily, especially it's a second offense. And, his big argument is that, people that get high, they don't go out and do anything wrong. Weed doesn't kill you, and all that other good stuff. And you know what? I understand that to a degree. People that get high can, have decent lives, and if they only stick to weed and they do it recreationally, they're fine. My problem is if you're 14 years old and starting to get high, you end up being one of those 19-year-old kids with freaking dreadlocks, sitting in your house playing Super Mario Kart with a bong smoking in the middle of the room and a cloud creeping out your window. And that's not what I want to see my son doing. Because, I mean, I understand the allure of getting high. I did it when I was a kid now and then. It's just you let everything go. And I get it. But at the same time, you're 14 years old. He's after puberty and everything, but still, he's still growing, and smoking weed is going to stunt his growth and kill off what little brain cells he has anyway, because most of his brain cells are rushing down between his legs. So I keep telling him, like, look, when you're 18, you can smoke weed all you want. You'll be an adult. I said, but between now and then, I want you to focus on school, focus on football, and think about getting into college so you can do something with yourself. I said, last thing I want to do is seeing you at 19, 20 years old, smoking weed every day, and saying, thank you, do you want to supersize that? And, not that I have anything wrong against working at McDonald's or anything, but if you're 15, 16, 17 years old, that's cool. It's a first job. it's a way of getting into the workforce and, organization and customer service and all that. And I get it. It has its value. But, if you're 25, 30 years old and you're still working the cash register at McDonald's, something didn't go right in your life. I mean, point blank, nothing negative, but something didn't go right in your life. And that's what I don't want to see that from my son. He acts like an airhead sometimes, but I know he's intelligent. He's very, thoughtful. He is very intelligent when he wants to be, and I just don't want to see it go to waste. So I'm trying to be a good dad. So, so yeah, I mean, 14 years old smoking weed. Is that okay? I don't think so. What are your comments out there? I mean, my biggest thing is weed by itself, I don't think hurts much. Yes, it kills brain cells. Yes, it makes you lazy. Yes, it makes you do dumb shit. But my biggest thing is weed is the first avenue on the way to highway to stronger drugs. Because I know a lot of my friends that started out on weed, they moved up to angel dust or heroin or crack or cocaine or something stronger, that weed was the first step. And that is what scares me most as a father, knowing my son at 14 is smoking weed and thinks it's quote unquote okay. It's no big deal. So, for my older audience, what would you do if your 14-year-old son did that? For my younger audience, if you're still in high school, I mean, are you smoking weed? Are your friends smoking weed? What do you think of the subject? Do you think I overreacted? Do you think as a father I'm, letting my son off easy? Am I being too hard? Give me your comments. I greatly appreciate your time. I want to hear what you guys got to say. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the topic. I hope you click that like button if you're still here. I hope you click that sub button if you're new. And thank you all for listening. Take care. Peace.